Now at 10, we break down an accident report released from the death of a diver at Roaring River. Plus, a multi-million-dollar project to bring broadband to Carl Junction, Missouri hits a milestone. And we visit a badge-pinning ceremony as Joplin police officers swear into duty.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities charged 2 suspects following a high-speed chase in Cherokee County, Kansas on Wednesday. This is your KOAM News at 10. I'm Jalen Banks. Johnny Green of Joplin is charged with felony stealing of a truck out of Parsons, Kansas, and several drug charges and criminal damage to property. Another suspect was booked with possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia. This comes after surveillance cameras here at KOAM studios along Highway 69 showed a pickup driving west on Lawton Road, then leaving the road to cut through the grass. A couple of law officers' vehicles were close behind. The truck then circled behind the TV station and took out a fence close to our broadcast tower before getting back on the highway. Authorities say they attempted a traffic stop near the intersection of County Road 300 and Hunter Road in Jasper County. They say the driver didn't stop. Speeds reached an excess of 100 miles per hour during the chase. The vehicle eventually crashed near 780-95 Northeast Center Star Lane in Galena, Kansas. To see the full breakdown of events, download the KOAM News Now app. Remains found during the search for Athena Brownfield have been positively identified as of the 4-year-old. Athena was reported missing on January 10th after her sister was found alone by a postal carrier in Cyril, Oklahoma. A funeral was held by Athena this week, but Oklahoma's chief medical examiner just announced the positive confirmation last night. Athena's 2 caretakers have been charged in the case. Ivan Adams is charged with murder and child neglect. Alicia Adams faces 2 counts of child neglect. Court documents show Alicia Adams claims to have witnessed Ivan severely beat Athena on Christmas and leave with her body. The report analyzing the circumstances that led to an October diving fatality in Southwest Missouri is complete. KOAM received a copy through a public records request with the Missouri Highway Patrol. And KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke with a diving expert analyst and has details.
Tragedy struck Roaring River State Park during a dives team expedition to find the bottom of Roaring River's underwater cave. In October 2022, divers from KISS Rebreathers explored Roaring River in teams of 2. Unfortunately, one of the divers, Eric Hahn, drowned during one of the expeditions. This video is from Hahn's YouTube channel and our own story with Hahn shot weeks before the tragedy.
I was a recreational open water diver when I was a kid, thanks to my uncle and my grandfather for introducing me to the sport.
KOAM received this report explaining what happened on that fateful dive. Scuba tanks use a mixture of oxygen and nitrogen gas. And in this report, it finds that in this case that the oxygen levels was higher than it should have been for a dive at 190 feet. It can also impair a diver.
It's almost like drinking alcohol or smoking weed. You're just not as quick in your thoughts as you were.
According to the report, a diving partner says Hahn flailed his arms and legs during the dive. Tillman says that's consistent with oxygen toxicity.
We're not sure if he panicked or if he was just uncomfortable of sorts. Oxygen seizures, that is something you realize when it's too late. So that usually underwater you can't really tell if someone is going to have a seizure.
The report finds a second emergency tank, known as a bailout bottle, also had a higher ratio of oxygen than it should.
The oxygen content in the tank attached was definitely, or in the bailout that is also used for feeding that rebreather, was definitely too high. So that would have been a human error, basically.
When I spoke to Hahn mere weeks before the incident, he was hopeful and proud of his dive team.
But one of the reasons that this project has been so successful has been due to the open-mindedness as well as camaraderie between the KISS Rebreathers dive team.
Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
KOAM reached out to KISS Rebreathers dive team for a comment, but received no response. And Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with the first look at the weather.
Well, at least it turned out to be a warmer day for us today. Temperatures a lot better than what we've seen all week long. 54 for a high, started at 30. about 8 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. But we got some big changes moving in for the weekend. All right, we do have some clouds in our northern counties. Besides that, we look pretty good, but here's the beginnings of our next storm system, which is going to start to affect us as we go into the weekend. In another Arctic front, unfortunately, heading toward us. Southerly winds are really going to pick up tonight. This will keep our temperatures up just a little bit. So we'll slide back upper 30s, hang near 40, back to 48 by 10. Very windy once again for us during the daytime hours tomorrow. In fact, gusts are going to be 40 upwards to about 45. We do have some wintry weather in the forecast. We're going to break that down for you here in just a bit.
Faster internet might be on its way to Carl Junction. Optic Communications held an informational meeting for Carl Junction residents about the fiber optic internet. KOAM Shagun Bamdali was there.
A multi-million-dollar project that helps to bring broadband internet to Carl Junction is reaching an important point in progress.
The fiber optic system is going to be is an internet-based system, so that people will be able to subscribe to it like they do a cable company or something like that.
Lover says a federal grant helped in starting this project.
Optic Communications 2 years ago was able to get a grant from the federal government, an NTIA, which is funding half of this system, and then Optic is funding the other half.
One Optic spokesperson says the new internet will serve the parts of Carl Junction with no internet.
Carl Junction is considered underserved when it comes to internet access. So our goal is to provide the fastest, most reliable internet in the region to Carl Junction.
Rector gives detail on how the company plans to start providing services to people.
We're starting off with Zone 2. All the different areas of Carl Junction are going to be broken into zones. Right now we are installing mainline fiber, and once we get that installed, everyone will be encouraged to sign up at that time. So once we get everyone signed up, we'll start putting fiber to the home.
Reporting in Carl Junction, Shagun Bamdali, KOAM News.
All installations and drop fees will be free as long as people sign up during the Optic's first pass through Carl Junction. Still ahead, some new faces join the police lineup in Joplin. We'll visit the badge pinning ceremony. Plus, some Pittsburgh students learn their hand in business. Some police officers were recognized for their accomplishments earlier today. KOAM's Yana Haldala has more from the event.
4 police officers in the Joplin area are waiting to be rewarded for their hard work.
We're recognizing those accomplishments, and they'll be pinning their badge on them this afternoon.
3 individuals completed their training, which includes a full semester at Missouri Southern State University, following a 16-week field training. Corporal Jeff Fleener joined the group since he was recently promoted.
It's something I've always wanted to do. It's just I was ready to take that next step into law enforcement, to being a supervisor. So it's something I've always wanted to do in my career.
A special part of the day is close family members joining the event and pinning a badge on the officers. Fleener's wife and daughter place the badge on him.
They come up and they actually take the badge, we'll pin it on their loved one, just recognizing their accomplishments, because families, they go through a lot being married or related to a police officer, and so they're part of it as well too, and we allow them that opportunity to pin the badge on their loved one.
Fleener is the first law enforcement officer in his family. He is still planning to go back to college and become a sergeant one day.
It was just a childhood dream of mine. Past experiences, it really set me up to want to do this career for the rest of my life. So I think it's the best job ever.
Davis says this event happens usually 2 to 3 times a year, depending on the groups of trainees that complete all of the training.
It kind of varies just depending on the amount of openings, the amount of people that make it through training, the amount of people that we're able to get through in one particular session.
In Joplin, Yana Haldala, KOAM News.
Joplin Chaplain Program also joined the event, presenting each officer with a special gift. Some Pittsburgh students got a lesson on business. 4th grade students at Lakeside Elementary hosted Just Imagine Kansas 2023. It was the culmination of a project where students had to research businesses, create booths representing those businesses, and sell items based on the research. All booths were set up today to create a miniature city.
Kind of like supervisor to go around, help people. If like Pizza Hut, normally they have long lines like the teacher said, so help out them, orders, and other stuff.
This is the 8th year of the Just Imagine Kansas project. The Missouri School Board is looking for ideas and comments about the teaching profession from parents and substitute teachers. A Missouri statute states each substitute teacher in a public school should complete a survey at the end of each day after teaching. Right now, the state is experiencing a shortage of teachers, so the state is asking parents to provide input into the issue in a separate survey.
Attitudes about public education, about teaching. The pandemic created additional stress for our educators and for our families, and so we wanted to explore that again to see kind of the current thoughts.
Feedback in the survey for parents is anonymous. You can find both surveys on KOAMnewsnow.com. The parents survey ends on Monday. A little later, the Independence Bulldogs girls basketball team face off against the Fort Scott Tigers.
Plus, we have big changes rolling in for the weekend. Those details coming up next. Well, it actually turned out to be a pretty good Friday for us today, warmer than what we've seen all week long. Just remember, a couple nights ago, we had about 3 inches of snow across the region, but all gone now. Temperatures into lower 50s. Look at the parking lot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, filling up. Friday night, we're dry out there, but we do have changes rolling in as we go through the weekend. All right, first off, temperatures 41 in Carthage, 45 at Grand Lake. Pittsburgh cooler at 33, 36. In Iola, I think most of us are going to hang mid to upper 30s to near 40 tonight, but look to the north. That is Arctic air that is building. So this is our first Arctic blast that we've had since the one right before Christmas. This one won't be as cold, but it is going to be Arctic air, which is going to start to slide in tomorrow night. So as we go through the overnight hours, hanging near 40, very windy for us tomorrow. Quick warm up, 48 by 10. And we have pretty much clear skies. We have some clouds kind of streaming through our northern counties, but here's our next storm system. You can see the snow through the Dakotas, parts of Nebraska. Most of this is going to stay to our north, but it is going to drag in that Arctic front as we go through tomorrow night. All right, let's step through time. And we're going to stop at 7 a.m. Southerly winds really increasing, upper 30s to near 40. Here come the clouds throughout the day, lower 50s by noon. And I think most of us will end up into the mid 50s. You can see mostly cloudy skies, a few spotty showers popping up by evening. As we go through the evening hours, here comes the Arctic front. You can see the wind shift line. This is going to be much colder air, a few light showers firing up along the front as it pushes through. This is going to be fairly light and scattered, but we are going to have some showers out there. So about midnight tomorrow night. Now behind the front, see these little pink little blobs? That's going to be very light sleet or freezing drizzle that kind of forms late Saturday night into Sunday morning. I don't think this is a big deal, but something we want to pay attention to as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Look at our temps, upper 20s and dropping. Any freezing drizzle or a wintry mix should be out of here by Sunday afternoon, but it's definitely going to be a cold one for the second half of the weekend. Great day to stay inside and watch some football. Look at the wind gusts, 40, 45 by morning. They stay strong all day long, and then once the winds switch around to the north, here's midnight, you can see the front. They're still going to be strong behind the front, and with temperatures dropping, that means you get a wonderful wind chill. So wind chill factors by Sunday morning feeling about 10 to 15 degrees. So it is going to be pretty cold out there all day long on Sunday, but at least we're not going to get much in the way of moisture as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours. Day planner 43 to start, 53 by noon. High temp right around 55. We do have several little bouts of wintry weather as we go through the beginning of the work week. On Monday, little wintry mix. This will push out, and then late Tuesday into Wednesday, another little system that will give us a light wintry mix. None of these look big, but we need to keep our eyes on it because a little bit of ice can obviously cause some issues. 55 tomorrow, 33 Sunday, only 29 for a high on Monday. Groundhog Day is on Thursday. We'll see if that little guy sees a shadow or not. Another wintry mix next Sunday. And it's not like if he does see a shadow, it really matters, but it's the rodent day. So.
At least there's a little bit of optimism, but I'm happy that you had specified that the next Arctic wind that we're going to be getting isn't as cold as what we got around Christmas.
The one before Christmas was pretty bad.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Doug. Still ahead, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce nears an NFL record ahead of Sunday's AFC Championship game against Cincinnati. And Fort Scott and Independence meet in a battle of two of the highest-ranked teams in the state. Jacob Leonard joins us with more after the break.
Well, the Fort Scott Tigers play at home tonight with an SEK doubleheader against Independence. On the girls' side, it's a matchup of two of the best in the league and two of the highest-ranked 4A teams in the state. Fort Scott ranked 5th in Class 4A in Kansas. Indy's right behind them at number 6. So here we go. First quarter, Abby Bailey for Independence. 3 from the far side. Bulldogs lead after 1. Second quarter, Tigers swing back. Ellie Smith, bucket, and the foul. She gets 7 in the first half. Fort Scott up 3 going to the locker room. Third quarter, Keegan Yarrick making plays for Fort Scott. Knocks down the 3. 13 points tonight for Yarrick. Then good pass inside to Mackenzie Murphy. Murphy finishes. Tigers still in front going to the fourth. But in the fourth, Indy sticks around, and here Riley Reichenberger from the corner. 3 is good. This one, outstanding game. We're going to overtime. The NOT. Cam Eichison drives. Floater in the lane is good. She scores 21 tonight to lead Independence. The Bulldogs going to Fort Scott. Take over first place in the SEK, winning in overtime 49-45. After that one, it was the boys' turn. Fort Scott trying to earn the split on homecoming night. Tigers get it done, beating Indy 62-43. On the CNC, little rivalry game tonight in Columbus between the Titans and Frontenac Raiders. We'll start in the first quarter. Titans off to a fast start. Landon Midget lays it in for 2. He scores 12. Columbus leads by 9. To the second now. Mario Mangini catches fire. Gets it to go for 3, but that's not all. Following possession, Mangini another 3. He scores 18. And Columbus up 7 at the break. To the second half now. Columbus pulls away a little bit. Look at Colt Ungehauer getting up for the jam. Columbus leads it by double digits, but the Raiders came back once and they'll do it again. Lane Sullivan, corner 3, he scores 12. Tied at 53 now. In the fourth, Cole Youngblood lays it in for 2. From there, it was really a free throw battle, but Frontenac unable to rally. Columbus takes down the Raiders tonight 63-61. Earlier in the night, the Frontenac girls 7-4 this season, looking to bounce back from Tuesday's loss to Colgan. Raiders win this one tonight, cruising by Columbus 55-31. The Pittsburgh State Gorillas split a doubleheader last night with Central Oklahoma. The Gorilla men lost a tough one, 80-70 to the 4th-ranked Broncos, while the PSU women picked up an 83-75 win. Tristan Gagg had a team-high 22 points Thursday night, including hitting 5 threes. Grace Pyle, also a big night, 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. And with the win, Pitt State now won 6 in a row and 11 of their last 13 games. They're sitting at 11-3 in the MIAA, good for 4th right now in the conference.
I think it's important to just continue to remind our kids. I felt like I should throw some water on them because this should not get old. Like, winning should not be something that you take for granted and just like, oh, okay, and you just walk in the locker room. It's not a big deal. This is a big deal. In our league, it's tough. And so I think that I probably should have went ahead and thrown some water on them. But so we need to enjoy it. We need to make each one of them a big deal.
The Missouri Southern Lions swept Newman on Thursday night. Southern men held off the Jets 70-66, while the women rolled by Newman by 30 to get their winning streak to 6 games. Now, Lacey Stokes finished last night with 14 points, adding 6 assists. But Caitlin Honeycutt had the hot hand to lead the Lions in scoring. Honeycutt was 4 for 6 from deep Thursday night. Finished with 19 points, her second highest scoring night of the season.
It means a lot to me. My teammates they're great. They have confidence in me every day in practice, all the games. They're always telling me to shoot it and shoot with confidence. And, that's something I've struggled with. So, and especially at the beginning of this year. So, again, just to see some shots go in and to know that they have my back and they have confidence in me, that makes me feel a lot better about it.
The Kansas City Chiefs are in the AFC Championship game for the 5th consecutive season. They'll play the Bengals on Sunday, with the winner moving on to Super Bowl 57. Now, like we do every Friday night, it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
The Chiefs Kingdom is hosting the AFC Championship for the 5th year in a row, an all-time NFL postseason record. Now, this is a picture of former 49ers Hall of Fame receiver Jerry Rice, the greatest pass catcher in NFL postseason history. But second now on many of those lists is Chiefs warhorse tight end Travis Kelce. Kelce has 120 postseason receptions, second all-time to Jerry Rice. Kelce needs 55 receiving yards Sunday to be second all-time to Jerry Rice in that category. And with 2 more receiving touchdowns, Kelce will be second all-time to Jerry Rice in that postseason category. The Chiefs are trying to win a 3rd Lamar Hunt trophy in 4 years and be AFC champions once again with the amazing Travis Kelce on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by KOAM Jewelry. Every day's game day, KOAM Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
And that's it for sports. We're back after this.
We take time now to honor a local veteran. Jeff Davis served in the U.S. Army from 1941 to 1952. The Joplin native was stationed in the Aleutian Island, Germany, and Korea, and was awarded a Bronze Star. We're proud to salute First Sergeant Jeff Davis, the 4th State hero. All right, Doug, what do we have coming up for weather?
Well, tomorrow, not bad. We're going to have a lot of clouds across the region. Temperatures into the mid-50s. Few showers popping up by evening. Arctic front tomorrow night, so turning much colder. A light wintry mix Sunday morning. Other little waves Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So a lot to watch over the next few days.
All right, Leonard, big weekend, Championship Sunday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of, we've been talking about it all week. We're talking about it every night this week. I'm ready to get here. Last time I checked, the line was 1.5.
Yeah.
Chiefs favored. That line's been all over the place, but 5:30 Sunday, we'll know who's going to Super Bowl.
They say it's been one of the biggest swings in betting history as far as...
I mean, there's so many questions between Mahomes' ankle and now Kelce today with the back spasms. Quite like, nobody knows. But we're going to know.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching us. We'll see you all again. Let's make it a great evening.